Welcome back to The Hidden Logic, as we begin our massive Week 10 investigation into the shadow economy. For the past 9 weeks, we explored the intelligence agencies, the military contractors, and the global war machine. We proved that the global elite use violence and surveillance to extract massive wealth from ordinary working citizens. But today, we must ask the most important financial question of our entire 365-day journey. Where exactly does all of this bloody corporate money go, and how do they hide it from the public? We are entering the dark and completely unregulated world of global money laundering and secret offshore tax havens. When you receive your monthly paycheck, the government immediately takes a significant portion for income taxes and public services. If you refuse to pay your local taxes, the government will freeze your bank accounts and eventually send you to prison. But the hidden logic reveals that the richest corporations and individuals on Earth operate under a completely different legal system. They utilize a complex global network of shell companies and offshore accounts to make their massive fortunes completely invisible. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, up to 5% of global GDP is laundered annually. That is roughly 2 to 5 trillion US dollars of dirty money washing through the legitimate financial system every single year. This money comes from political corruption, illegal arms, trading, human trafficking, and massive corporate tax evasion schemes globally. Let us examine exactly how this massive criminal machine operates using a process called placement, layering, and integration. First, the dirty money is placed into the legitimate financial system using cash-intensive businesses or corrupt banking officials. Second, the money is layered, which means it is moved through dozens of international shell companies to confuse investigators. These shell companies are fake businesses that produce absolutely nothing but hold bank accounts in secret jurisdictions like the Cayman Islands. The architects of this layering process are not street criminals. They are highly educated lawyers and elite professional accountants. We must look closely at the prestigious wealth management firms in Geneva and the massive corporate law offices in London. They design incredibly complex financial mazes, specifically intended to block government tax inspectors and international financial police forces completely. Finally, the money is integrated back into the normal economy by purchasing luxury real estate or incredibly expensive modern art anonymously. This is why you see massive empty luxury skyscrapers in London, New York, and Vancouver, while normal people suffer a housing crisis. Corrupt politicians and global criminals use stolen public money to buy these luxury apartments simply to store their illegal wealth safely. They are literally weaponizing the global real estate market and intentionally pricing you out of your own home city right now. But real estate is not the only physical asset used to integrate this massive amount of dirty shadow money today. The high-end international art market has become one of the most effective and entirely unregulated money laundering machines globally. A corrupt billionaire can buy a painting for $50 million through an anonymous shell company to transfer illegal wealth instantly. They store these expensive paintings in massive tax-free warehouses called freeports, located in Switzerland and Singapore permanently. The art never touches a museum wall. It just sits in a dark box while its ownership transfers digitally between criminals. In 2016, an anonymous whistleblower leaked millions of documents which became known globally as the Panama Papers. These leaked documents exposed how a single law firm in Panama helped politicians, celebrities, and criminals hide their massive wealth. The public was absolutely shocked to see the names of prime ministers and famous billionaires tied to these secret offshore accounts. But the most terrifying revelation was that the majority of these offshore tax avoidance schemes were technically perfectly legal. The global elite have lobbied corrupt politicians to write financial laws that specifically allow these massive tax loopholes to exist. A few years later, the Panama Papers leak proved that the system was not broken, but functioning exactly as designed originally. And this brings us to a critical moment in our investigation where I need your direct perspective and your voice. Let us pause right now because I must know how you feel about this massive, two-tier financial justice system. Go down to the comments right now and answer this very specific and highly controversial question for our community. If a politician is caught using an offshore tax haven, should they be permanently banned from holding public office? Drop your detailed answer in the comments below right now so we can expose the real modern threats together as a community. Your insight is absolutely crucial because the mainstream media wants you to believe that financial crime is a victimless crime entirely. But when major corporations hide billions of dollars offshore, the national governments lose massive amounts of essential tax revenue. To compensate for this massive loss, the government simply raises the taxes on the middle class and the working class citizens. You are actively subsidizing the luxurious lifestyles of the global elite because they completely refuse to pay their fair share. The developing world suffers the absolute most from this massive global financial extraction engine designed by Western corporate banking elites. Billions of dollars are systematically drained from resource-rich nations in Africa and South America through corporate tax evasion networks. This money flows directly into the bank accounts of corrupt local dictators and then immediately travels to secret Swiss bank vaults. We cannot ignore the massive role of the Big Four global accounting firms who actively audit these exact same multinational corporations. They write the complex tax codes for the governments and then advise the corporations on exactly how to legally bypass them. It is an absolutely perfect closed-loop system where the financial regulators and the financial criminals are often the exact same people. When an ordinary citizen makes a small mistake on their tax return, they face devastating financial penalties and immediate government audits. But when a global technology monopoly hides $50 billion in an Irish subsidiary, the government simply calls it smart corporate accounting. This creates a devastating psychological impact on the working class, who slowly realize that the entire financial game is completely rigged. They work 40 hours a week just to survive, while the digital numbers in offshore bank accounts multiply endlessly without effort. The shadow economy is not a glitch in the capitalist system. It is the actual intended feature of modern global finance. We must also look at the massive global banks that actively facilitate the shadow economy for massive corporate profit margins. Look at the massive Danske Bank scandal, where over 200 billion euros of suspicious money flowed through a tiny Estonian branch. Major Western financial institutions frequently pay massive fines for laundering cartel money, but no wealthy bankers ever go to actual prison. The fines are simply calculated as a standard acceptable cost of doing business in the highly profitable global shadow economy today. And the biggest tax havens are not just tropical islands with palm trees. They are right inside the United States and Europe. The state of Delaware in America holds more registered corporate entities than actual human citizens. Because of its extreme corporate secrecy laws, the city of London operates a massive spiderweb of financial secrecy jurisdictions stretching from Bermuda to the British Virgin Islands. This is a sophisticated mathematical extraction engine designed to drain the wealth of the working class entirely and permanently. To stop this massive theft, we must demand absolute transparency and public registries for the ultimate beneficial owners of all corporations. We must implement a strict and unavoidable global minimum corporate tax rate to stop countries from racing to the bottom aggressively. You have a profound duty to share this urgent alternative perspective with everyone who is struggling financially right now, today. Share this video immediately on Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and every other social platform where your community actively gathers and communicates daily. We must break the powerful illusion that the financial system is fair and expose the shadow economy to the blinding light. But corrupt politicians and tax-evading billionaires are only one part of this massive underground financial network. Operating globally today, what happens when the most violent cartels on Earth merge with the legitimate global banking system completely and seamlessly? Next time we will expose the terrifying reality of the global drug trade and how illegal narcotics secretly stabilize the world economy. We will discover how your local high street bank might be actively funding violent cartels in South America right now. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and never stop questioning the artificial financial narratives designed to keep you poor. The shadow economy relies entirely on your continued ignorance, so stay awake, stay vigilant, and keep tracking the hidden logic.